G'day, g'day, Dan here. I thought some of you'll follow the light, eh? Thought it might be best to... G'day mate, how are ya? Just doing a bit of a value-based video to follow up on the last one. I thought I am here, I am human. I thought I'd show you this. This is a better view than my head, maybe for some of you. So, and you can come for a walk. And I can show you some things actually. So, you can pause the screen to look at that. There it is. That dog I threw the ball for, it's cool. Connecting with animals more, but anyway, the value, right. So, I was talking about basically one day or day one, and aligning with things you may have put off, purpose, passion. Might just actually have a seat and talk to you. Here we go. Oh, this is me. So, long story short, that was what I was speaking on before. Get my guitar today. But I was speaking to, gratitude, the ability for you to get to pursue your purpose, your passions, and from day one, really, be able to be a service. And with a pathway within a program, basically that's what I wanted to give value on. Is what are some of the actions? I've taken note there. So you've got actions you can take anywhere, really. There's a lot of people that, long story short, some of the big motivations for me were around, Russell Brunson, when I had some epiphanies with technology, and he was still mastermind.com as well, but his motto was about not dealing with when it comes to a startup, a project, you don't need venture capital. Now these words rang true to me because I just had an experience with a little mini VC firm that all but helped, well I'd say, fuck the business by the way they took their money out, by me putting my foot down and not wanting to change, or not changing the business model to suit their intentions and their, what they wanted. There was already a plan in place that they didn't resonate with. So that's what happened. But anyway, he was talking about how the funnels and how building community and the break-even sales funnel helps you build a community for free, and how you can, automate the front end of things, and, all these other people making millions and millions of dollars doing that. Now, there's been a bit of a thing where in the coaching sort of business, people would just regurgitate and recycle and still help people. So it's good, but there's been some bad apples, I suppose, like there isn't anything that would give it that bad juju. Same with the sales funnels and whatnot, and you got to realise it's not a funnel. It's a journey of giving value. That's why it's called the value ladder. So as long as you're given value, and I think really what I've learnt is the difficult thing, or the people that people look over the most critical part, is niching down. And it's really just as simple as you might not feel that you can monetize and build a career, build your life around, and be financially stable around your backstory and the skills and whatnot, the things that you've learned, things that you're doing. And if you do feel that you can, you may feel that, it's difficult, once especially if you tried certain things, with getting technology tools and CRMs, and then duct taping, sticky taping those together, or you're getting someone else to come in and help you to do that. It's just charging money, then there's more risk for you, or you got to learn it yourself, and there's time, and then you're working, doing other things in amongst that. So, and then when you get it to the next stage, you got, some greedy people that want to pretty much take everything you work for and give you either a small percentage of the company or just kick you out altogether. And, fuck that. So the community building side of things and the funnels are critical. You can't really do without them with that journey. And I don't know about you, but repeating yourself every time to people that, have got questions and that, ways that you need to deliver that sort of information and give value, but to be able to do it with numbers and help the amount of people that you want to help, you've got to have some automation at that front end. I don't mean just all AI and whatnot. I'm talking about you recording videos and having a scheduled, like I'm going back to just to remind you what actions that you can take. Whatever you've overcome or whatever result you've got that you feel would be good for others, and also, like, just the point with the AI and that, people want relationships. Really. So, you giving value, people will reciprocate and know that, you're out there being authentic. I had that on the, on here. For real. That you're going to attract through your videos. That's what the VSL stands for. You're going to attract those that need and want that help and that resonate with you. There might be people that get that same result, but there might be just the sort of character type that you don't want to deal with, and that's okay. You can refer them on to someone that you've got in your network that maybe is in that archetype and character. It's about really narrowing down on who you're serving and helping in amongst it. And you repel, those that aren't in line. Long story short though, the actions, going back to that, there's a sequential, step-by-step sort of process where the automated sort of front end of things, and we've got a program there, it's being released that you can use the framework of and quickly and without all the marketing and all the other issues and the end in mind sort of stuff being integrated with stages and steps you can go with it, no matter how far and long or how big you want to go. But definitely just having a community, as you know, and having content, YouTube or other places, you can monetize that, as you know. But having that community, it's applicable to you as an existing business. If you're a startup, to be able to get that feedback, ask them what they want. You don't even have to have all the answers. Ask them what they want and the problems they're having with that solution. Even if you knew nothing, you can do that. But better you have a bit of a skeleton and bit of an idea, and then basically from that, the first phase you're going to sign into to sort of automate and orientate and get them into your community, and that is mindset. Little intro sort of phase and whatnot, but mindset. There's mindset tools there to help them get clear on that. There's a story you'll tell to bring their emotion into the mix. Then you'll teach them how to do certain things, even they might have given you answers or whatnot. But there's tactical components, and then there's tools to implement. So regardless of what those tools are, whether they're a workbook type thing, which you typically include in a lower ticket, sort of low price offer, which would be the full framework of your program in a little blueprint, something that they can go through pen and paper and go through. They've just got no videos, they've got none of that. Got the mindset phase, got all the videos and all the tools in there, because you give that away for free, because they're getting value. You can give 80 or 90% of what you do away in a lot of the mindset. A lot of the mindset should help get them the result anyway. And don't think they're not going to reciprocate and buy your next things in your offers and your value ladder, because you've given them value. They'll do it through reciprocation, but they'll want to know, what do they get with the foundations? Well, that's what we've got, whatever you would call it, for the second phase. So there's, phase, and within that, there's steps within a framework. Step one would do this. You'd have a story connected to it. And you're teaching, and then the tool that's used to correlate with that story and that step. All right, next step is You've done that. Next step is do this next. Excuse me. And so on. So, in the foundational phase, saying related to what we're doing, it's all now starting to implement. You know, reviewing some of these things. It's not talk. It's not getting your mindset right. You're starting to do things. So if you've already got some technology tools experience, you know, if you haven't, there's things that you'll be setting up for community building and, you know, starting to document your plans and you would correlate with the mindset. You've already done a bit of that, but start to actually formulate the implementation properly. You know, your community building, organic content, reaching out, paid ads even. You know, you're going to reach out to different leaders, different people that can support your end in mind goals along this phases and steps of your implementation. Because after the foundation, you know, you're starting to actually get a business. And again, if you've got an existing business, what are those wastages and what are the decisions through that mindset phase that you made in regards to keeping your staff on that have been respectful and honourable to you when you've got the opportunity to automate that business with AI? I'd say fuck you if you do that. Really, there's certain roles that, yeah, should be automated and whatnot, but treat them as if they're a partner and a person you actually care about, and consider their families and their kids, and go through this process. As you go through it, introduce them, guide them into a partnership, joint venture. If it's a similar thing, if they've got interest, they want to go into business, don't treat them as competition. You know, how much money do you need? You want to be a monopoly in one of those big organizations. You know, it's time to go a bit sideways and then think about how, with all this success that you and then them can have, how that sort of flow of abundance can start to go sideways. And not in a play Santa Claus and egotistical point of view, but some of these problems and conversations, it's for us people to do grassroots. Things we can learn from big organisations, but there's bottlenecks. I experienced that dealing with schools, the visible internet, the bureaucracy. Got to talk to Mrs. Jones and then Mr. Potter and the fucking, you know, it's, and feel like you're a student, like you got to respect, you know, they're just a person, but then they had roles to play and then things just didn't get done. They should have been done. There's things that aren't being done now. They should be considered and then done. In regards to what's going on with technology and how that was in regards to technology helping curb the influence the internet's having, you know, cyberbullying, young kids getting addicted to porn. What else? Just being generally off topic, distracted to their curriculum and learnings. Yeah, so now we've got AI content and other things to discern through and whatnot. But long story short, I got a bit off track there. And what was I saying? Where was I? No one's here to remind me. I'll come back, hang on a sec. Oh yeah, the foundational stuff. So yeah, if you've got an existing business, there's things to, you know, clean up. I'm sure you've got subscriptions and all these things that you're paying $100 a month for and using 10% of its features. Well, you're an idiot. Well, you're not. It's not your fault. You've had to duct tape and glue things together. Anyone that's tried to do these all-in-one things, unfortunately, it doesn't operate at 100%. So even if you wanted to use 100% of it, it's not functioning most of the time. Some have nailed it, but there's typically going to be some decisions to make with your staff and people, like I said. And I feel there's pathways and things that we need to talk about and put in place now, which we'll do. Those that want to join, come and join. The invite, I'm telling you now, the invite's open. You know, we're stronger together and there's things that need to get done. So this all Imagine Land and all this stuff isn't about me going and getting rich. I made a decision a long time ago. I'd be paying my Paying, you know, once everything's comfortable, paying it forward. You know, the things that I felt need solutions, you know, mostly geared around family, shelter and food. That's where I'm nailing in, and then the creative side of things as well, with events, and so we can have fun along this journey. I don't know what makes this in the soil. There's minerals in the soil. I think I might have an idea. Anyway, it's all that foundational stuff. Anyone, and if it's a startup, or if you're, you know, just getting in, say if you're an individual that's just gone through this for personal growth and then realise, shit, I've got an opportunity through, like the information bit, knowledge bit, like someone would say consulting, coaching, but it's really just applying your skills and knowledge and being able to serve and help people. And you learn better when you're teaching. You all know that. And sometimes you might say a word and whatnot, and you go, shit, that's right. You remind yourself certain things as well. And like I say, the foundational thing, you'll be reaching out for those that, you know, within your realistic 25 at that stage. It's again going back to some learnings from Russell Brunson in Expert Secrets. What are the sort of bottom of the list, the realistic 25, that if you've reached out to them, and we'll have spells and different tools, but really it's not even that. It's just picking up the phone, asking for the CEO. So no, I don't want to talk to no manager. I want to talk to the owner. Just go and talk, go and reach out. Just do it. Let them know what you're doing with your animal. This is why I'm building a community. I'm connected to, you know, this, if you want to mention that, in terms of an ecosystem, and, you know, you want to give them value. You no reason why you can't do group interviews. And again, like these group interviews, humans coming together. We got AI content for the knowledge business and stuff like that, but I don't know about you, but nothing's going to keep us more connected than staying connected. It's a pretty simple statement. So I'm grateful for that opportunity to speak that message. Anyway, so past the foundational side of things, and there's other, I'll do another video on the different sort of phases, a bit more in depth than when I'm settled, not walking on the beach. But long story short, through your value ladder, those sort of two things should ultimately be automated. So you have the videos recorded, you'll have all your tools, and that foundational sort of offer is going to be anywhere from 50 to 100 bucks. Ours is about to go live. We'll support it through the community and, you know, and access to be able to ask questions and all that stuff. But it's quite scalable. And the AI and the metrics for numbers, anything in life, you know, it's a numbers game. You're running a business, you're selling. People can say, oh, I can't sell tea. Well, you're selling every day. You're selling yourself, you're selling others, your views, your thoughts. Just don't bullshit. It's, we're selling our dream, you know. And there's a way to do it ethically, where basically, long story short, things are aligned. What you're doing is good. You have good intent. You're being pure. You want to help people. So if you know you can do that, you're doing an injustice to yourself and the whole world if you don't sell with your spells. Don't forget, you're always selling and sowing into the world anyway with your spells and your words. You only take one letter out. So, that foundational stuff, numbers game, a certain amount of people is going to sign up for your free access. And what correlates with that typically in terms of getting people in is a bit of an assessment on your full framework, you know, Q&A, which also acts as a ask campaign, as I talked about. Ask them what are their questions and concerns with getting this result that you're talking about. And they'll tell you, they'll give you knowledge to put into refine your program or create it from scratch. But anyway, and be mindful of data and whatnot as well. Do they want to share that? Those sort of things we'll have in place. But long story short, certain amount of people that sign up for free, certain amount of people that will buy in our case, an $8 blueprint, has the full program, go 2 tools and what's going to be extremely good value. And that will correlate with them being able to proceed with the free first phase, you know, the mindset stuff. And they'll be encouraged, incentivized to be an early bird buyer of an $88 foundations program to do the second phase. Full program, you know, a bit more high ticket, got more intense help from myself or people, leaders that I've got around us. Oh, busting. Alright, I'm actually going to call it there as well. So just remember, no matter what you're doing, you have an opportunity to pursue it. I'm coming out of the water. And there's other people you can go and apply this stuff to in terms of, like I say, the funnels. There's plenty out there that have proven themselves. But, yeah, I don't have much more to say. It's the reason why they do what they do. And you'll see from my point of view, the intent, what I've seen, you know, the vision, conversations and people I'm bringing in to be able to assist is all there. Anyway, went a bit off topic because I need to go to the toilet as well. I'll carry on with some other videos later in regards to, like I say, a bit more in depth on the mindset and the foundation sort of phases. I'm actually about to take the stuff out of my pockets and all that and jump in this beautiful water. But yeah, regardless of where you're at, be grateful that, yeah, this is day one. You've got so many opportunities to be able to build those things that you may have put off in the past. So go ahead and build it with whoever you want. And if you've got more questions from what I'm talking about, sort of to validate and to just do how, I'm more than willing to get on a calls with you guys without, you know, it costing money and all that and being a selling based thing. I'm right now getting value. Just give us a shout out, give us some feedback. Alright, you enjoy your day. Peace out.